The long dark tunnel. I went up to Hartford to meet some mates one night. I was supposed to be doing a deal, picking up a box of gear en route, dividing it up at a mate's flat and dishing it out to lined up buyers. But it didn't happen. You know how those things go. There's no guarantee either way. Let down. Instead, I turned up for a night out carrying a set of weighing pans and a few grand cash in my pocket. I met my mates in the town and we all got fucked up. Usual suspects, coke, pills, booze. My generally altered state had once again been altered a lot fucking further. At the bar I caught a look from a pretty girl in a short dress, but I was too out of it for that kind of communication. The moment passed, my lingering look turned into a glass-eyed crooked stare. She sensed my strangeness and moved away. The streets and pubs were noisy, action everywhere. Drunk girls wearing next to nothing, stumbling awkwardly on high heels. A group of men squaring up to each other. People here and there exchanging last-minute drugs and money. Friends laughing and screaming. Couples groping and kissing. Policemen standing by a car watching it all. I must have lost time. Everybody had gone. It was just me and some other fellow I didn't recognise, left on a silent street corner. I stood there swaying, trying to focus, and for some reason staring at the man, who was standing very close to me. He looked up at black night like I wasn't there. Old man face caught in a streetlight glow. Wispy long white hair blowing about cold smooth cheeks. The building shuddered behind him and I leaned against the wall to steady myself as time seemed to stop. He turned his head to me, slow motion, smiling, glazing eyes and yellow teeth. The old boy leaned in, put his hand on my shoulder, and with his fine white hair gently tickling my face, making me feel like I was in love, he whispered, "You're going to hell." I knew that years ago, I said, looking down to light a half-smoked spliff. I watched the flame catch as I shielded it from the wind with my hand. What else? I asked, looking up. I'd said it to no one. The man was gone. I took a deep pull on the joint, eyeing the pavement where he had stood. I wasn't sure of anything. Glancing up and down the road, knowing he couldn't have gone that far, I laughed. Nothing. Stranger things have happened. I looked about me. Friday night aftermath, desolate, empty street, like every other soulless dead-end town in England, 1991. All the pubs were shut, the parade was quiet and still. The cab drivers had all gone home. I decided to walk to the station if I could find it. I set off, blood rushing in my ears, the sound of my heart beating so loudly it drowned out my footsteps, reminding me again that it will one day stop. A carrier bag took off on slow wind. A cat walked by ahead. It stopped frozen still, ears back, eyes black. It watched me approach, then ran under a parked car. A shadow man stepped back behind a tree. I heard a dog barking somewhere in the distant night. A man shouting, then silence. I found the station, but the trains had finished. Oh, fucking hell. What are you going to do now, prick? Dunno, everyone's gone home. I didn't really know the town that well then, or even where my mates lived. It was Mike's, but it was far, seemed like a long shot, and I was too fucked to think properly. I had three choices. Walk to the A10, fucking miles away, and make my way home down there. Dual carriageway, no path, that didn't seem appealing. Could cut across country, but I didn't know the way in the dark, that didn't seem appealing either. Or follow the train track. In my fucked up head, that was the most attractive idea of the three. At least I wouldn't get lost and I was already there on the platform. So I climbed down to the sleepers and rails and started walking. I walked and walked, treading stones, metal and wood uneven under my drunken pace. Mile after mile of the same track seen, lines tapering off to unreachable horizon, dark country either side. I'd been walking what seemed like hours. My feet and ankles were buckled from the track, and I was knackered. The pain and exhaustion dulled by drink and drugs, but still there nagging. I wanted to stop and rest, but I had to keep going. I passed through Bayford Station, lit up bright in the surrounding night, and came to the mouth of a tunnel. The black arch huge and terrible, so dark you couldn't see in. Just empty blackness with a silent sound and nothing echoing inside. I looked around. On either side of the tunnel were dark fields, and above it woodland thicket and thorny bushes. There was no way to cut through above, and the country fields looked easy to get lost in. I decided to enter the tunnel. Inside, the darkness was overwhelming. I couldn't see anything but the unending black. I had to feel my way along the wall with no idea if there was any dangerous exposed electrical equipment I might accidentally touch. It was slow going, treading the small moving stones and feeling along the wall like a blind man. I'd been in there for quite a while when I became aware of the creeping fear that anyone or anything could be in there with me, and I couldn't see them or it. Without sight, I experienced a strange disorientation. I had no sense of space, and the area around me could easily have been small and claustrophobic or infinitely vast. Time had lost meaning in there. I felt like the tunnel went on forever. With all these thoughts of space and eternity, darkness and death twisting around in the swirling patterns of my lost mind, I was fighting off a heightened level of anxiety. The fear was interrupted by a heavy thundering noise, getting louder and louder as it approached. Rumbling sound like the aftershock of an explosion coming my way. The tunnel must have been on a slight bend because I couldn't see what direction it was coming from. The noise echoed everywhere, deafening. I'd already noticed the recesses in the wall for workmen to stand and let a train past. Without light, you had no chance of finding one quick enough. With no time to think, I knew if the train was on the same side as me, I had to run for the opposite side of the tunnel. The lights were on me, my side. I ran. I couldn't see shit in there, and I ran so fast with fear that I smashed into the opposite wall and fell over. I hit that tunnel wall so hard, my hands, face, knees, elbows and chest all impacted silently, the noise of the goods train louder than my flesh and bones crunching against brick. A dull thud in my head, the only sound I noticed as the wind was knocked out of me. I got up and hardly knew if I was facing the right direction. Standing next to it down on the tracks, the cargo train looked immense. A huge metallic serpent lit by the dark. Industrial monster roaring by, and the thunderous echoing noise was frightening. My guts vibrated as it passed. Fucking hell, that was close. Are you going the right way? I hope so. I think so. What if one had come the other way at the same time? I'd be fucked. What are you going to do? Hope for the best. 10 minutes later, another train came the other way, the side I was now on. I ran this time with arms outstretched to protect my face, crashed, fell, hoped I was going the right direction, and kept on going. They seem to come every 10 minutes. You're going to die in here. I know. You're fucked. I kept going and the trains kept coming. I was terrified, not of the trains nor death, but of the never-endingness of it all. In between the trains, only the crunching sound of my feet on the stones disturbed the silence. Broken, exhausted and weary, there was nothing to say. I was doomed. After a long distance of immeasurable time, I saw a light at the end of the tunnel and felt the relief and hope of survival. It was tiny in the distance. It looked so far away. I kept on towards it, but it didn't look like it was getting any nearer. I didn't want to think it to jinx it, so I walked on in silence. After a while, I said it out loud. It's not getting any bigger. I got there eventually. There was a tiny little light at the top of the arch of the tunnel. It was so small in the vast blackness it didn't even light anything up, just a faint glow around it. Still total darkness. Hopeless dread of endlessness began to grow in my heart. I never stopped though, just kept on walking, slowly feeling my way along the wall. With every step I was battling the need to stop, sit down and rest, never to get up again, never to see the sky again, to stay in there forever. After going on for unknown miles and hours, feeling my way along that terrible darkness, I didn't see the light from far off coming towards me, getting bigger as it neared. It just appeared round a bend, large and close. It looked enormous, like a negative of the dark mouth I entered, an arch of bright light, a strangely lit station scene, mystic like an apparition from the darkness. I hardly trusted my vision as I walked out into the light. Overwhelmed with joy, I couldn't believe I'd made it out of there. I stopped outside the tunnel on the tracks, looking down at myself covered in soot from the tunnel walls, and laughed. I bent double, hands on knees, and rested a moment, trying to take in what I'd just been through. I realised that a small light high up at the top of the tunnel must have been the halfway mark. I can't fucking believe I got out of there, man. I thought I'd be in there forever. I started to walk again and had only gone a few steps when I heard noises from the bushes of people coming up the bank. There was old Bill everywhere with dogs held on leash, straining on hind legs. Stop or I'll let the dog go. I stopped. All right. The policeman caught up to me and started asking questions. What's your name? What are dogs for? Shut up and tell me your name. Fair and Angel. What have I done? I knew this wasn't for trespass, not with the dogs and all. Don't try and be funny, mate. We just chased you up here. No, you didn't. Yeah, another chimed in. And we got your van down there full of the charcoal you just stole out the garden centre with your fingerprints all over the steering wheel. It weren't me. We caught you up here covered in charcoal dust and it weren't you. No, it's soot. I didn't just run up that bank either. It weren't me you was chasing. Oh yeah, soot. Where did you just come from then? Out of that tunnel? Yeah, alright mate. I did. I walked from Bayford. There's no way you could walk through that and live. I did. Cargo trains come through there every 10 minutes and it's the longest tunnel in South East England. I came through the tunnel. What's your address? I told them I was homeless. You got anything on you that you shouldn't have? No. They searched me and found a set of scales and the money I had. Lucky I had no drugs left. What's this? The copper asked, holding up the scales. It's an ornament. An ornament? I thought you were homeless. I am. That's why I have to carry my ornaments around with me. Very funny. What about the cash? Can't get a bank account without an address, so I carry that around too. Bit of a joker, aren't you? I think you got these for drugs. Yeah, but I ain't got no drugs. Anyway, why would I have this on me to break into greenhouses? They nicked me for the burglary, but I didn't give a fuck. Not after the journey I'd come through. I couldn't help being amused. I just was relieved to get in the van and go to a nice cell, have some of their dishwater tea and lie down. I've been nicked a few times over the years, but never have I felt so comforted to be picked up by the police. They shut the cell door and left me to myself. I laid back on the bench and smiled. I wondered how long I was in that tunnel. Must have been hours. Seemed like forever. Exhaustion flooded my bones and I melted into the hard surface. I shut my eyes and drifted off. Emptiness, a cold brick tunnel darkness, desolation, a black wind echo and no hope stone crunch underfoot. Tired pain of never-ending steps. Rumbling thunder, nearer and louder. Metallic monsters of cargo train terror. I woke up and opened my eyes. Confusion of darkness as I blinked in the black. Must be a power cut. They never turn the lights out in the cells. Backache, a slow rise as I felt the stones move under me. I stood and began to feel my way along the cold wall, the bricks rough and powdery like the dust on the surface. Panic gripped me and I held down horror of unwanted realisation. The wall went on and on. Where's the fucking door? I looked round in the empty silence, a bleak black nothing, afraid to leave the touch of brick in case it vanished. How could this have happened? I clearly remember being taken to the station, remember standing in the lamp glow of the station after the tunnel. Despair set in with every pace. Endless darkness, an empty echo of silent gloom. This ain't happening. This can't be real. Where are you? Leave me alone. Where are you now? I'm fucking nowhere. Nowhere.